Hey everybody, and good Monday to you. It is 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. A little midday weather update just before noon when I'm recording this. And it's a fairly mild Monday morning. Temperatures mostly in the 50s overnight. But some changes are heading our way, and the first thing that we're going to notice is some rain for the midday hours. Let's take a look at the radar as of about 11:40 a.m. We have one band of showers that will be pushing across here during the lunchtime period. No severe weather with this, and after that I expect a break for several hours during the afternoon. But low pressure is spinning out here. See the spin in the atmosphere out across parts of Indiana? That's low pressure that is pushing off to the east. This is the low pressure system that will drag in much cooler air for our Tuesday. It's going to be quite a bit chillier for tomorrow, but the transition between the relatively mild weather we have today and the cooler weather tomorrow may be marked by some feisty weather this evening. Will we see a repeat of what we had last Thursday with several tornado warnings across the area? No, probably not. But still, we're going to have to pay attention to the weather for a couple of hours this evening. This is another one of those situations in which the atmosphere is not tremendously unstable. We're not in July. The dew points aren't in the 60s. It's not super humid. And so we don't have a lot of what we call instability. Air parcels won't be rising super fast. What we do have is a lot of wind energy aloft once again. So when we look at the instability parameter here, you'll notice, you never see the big bright colors overhead. In other words, the instability is pretty modest. In geeky weather terms, this is convective available potential energy, thunderstorm fuel, if you will. And when you see values on this map of only a couple of hundred, that's pretty modest stuff. In the middle of summer, when we have a thunderstorm risk day, sometimes these values can be in the thousands. That's not the kind of day we have for today, but what we do have is a lot of wind energy aloft that showers and perhaps isolated thunderstorms could try to tap into as we go into the late afternoon. So we get one band that moves through around midday. Again, probably dry for at least a few hours, if not several hours, this afternoon. If you need to rake the leaves or do something outdoors, you'll probably be in pretty good shape from about, say 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, even sunset this evening. After about 6 o'clock, 6:30, as we head towards 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, then we expect a band of pretty feisty showers and storms to be emerging from the I-71 corridor out in central Ohio and pushing off to the east. This will probably weaken considerably once it reaches the Ohio-Pennsylvania state line right around, say, 8 to 9 p.m. This evening, and then not much more than a couple of fairly innocent showers as we head through the overnight. Let's go back to our other source here. I want to show you the severe weather risk that the Storm Prediction Center has outlined today. The highest risk in the yellow, well off to our south, across West Virginia, down into parts of the Carolinas, and into Virginia as well. But included in this kind of low-end risk of general severe weather today, in the green color here, this is where there's a 2% risk of an isolated tornado within 25 miles of any spot within this green area. And while we don't want to get so specific as to say the risk is much higher in southwestern Columbiana County or something like that, in general, the risk for an isolated tornado today does increase as you go to the west-southwest of our television viewing area, closer to Canton, New Philadelphia, back towards Newark, Mount Vernon, Columbus area, Mansfield as well. Now, again, like I mentioned last week when we had a day that was sort of similar to this, 2% doesn't seem like a very high number, but it's late October. On a standard late October day, the chance of a tornado is a fraction of 1%. So a 2% risk day is something that we have to pay attention to. Overall, I do think that where they have this risk drawn is the right idea. I do think that the chances of an isolated spin-up tornado are quite a bit higher once you're down towards southeast Ohio, out into central parts of the state as well. One of the reasons why I think that is when you look at the kind of the wind shear aloft, in other words, the wind energy aloft, the changing of the wind direction and wind speed as you go up in height through the atmosphere, it kind of maxes out or reaches a maximum, if you will. It's shown by the modeling to kind of reach a maximum from about New Philly, south and east towards Parkersburg, Marietta, down towards Athens, and then into parts of the southern West Virginia Panhandle, and a place like Morgantown, West Virginia, might have a somewhat higher risk. That's where the wind shear appears to be maximized, with lower wind shear values as you head off to the north and east. So while everyone has the chance of seeing some showers, not only here at midday, but Later on this evening, the chance of a feistier cluster of showers that might have some rotation embedded in it. I do think it's highest just to our south and west, but I still want you to pay attention to the weather no matter where you're watching from late this afternoon and early this evening. Check out meteorologist Andrew DePaulo's updates on the Midday Show coming up at noon. I'll see you this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11. Have a great rest of your Monday.